everybody's talking about how great the new Kodak Gold in 120 is, and it is great. I've shot a bunch of it, and it really excels in a whole bunch of different situations, and I'm actually really surprised. I'm not really surprised because Kodak Gold in 35mm is really great as well. I'm just surprised that they did it, is kind of what I'm surprised about. Surprised they made it in 120, but I think it's a really great film. And some people on YouTube, Kyle McDougall, not the least among them, have made like some comparisons of Kodak Gold in 120 to something like Portra. Portra being like the #1 film that film photographers like to use for a lot of good reasons. A lot of latitude, easy to work with, widely available, and people just really like it because it's very familiar. It's a film stock that if you shoot it, you pretty much know what you're gonna get, and that familiarity makes people really comfortable. So people love that film. So like I said, there's plenty of comparisons out there between Kodak Gold and Portra 400. I thought it'd be fun to do sort of a real world-ish situation. There's some really beautiful light today in the late afternoon, early evening in Milwaukee. So I was gonna go to a couple of spots I really like to get some of that late afternoon, early evening light, comparing Portra 400 and Kodak Gold 200, shooting them both at their respective box speeds. So without trying to compare the two films like 1-to-1 and, you know, trying to compare which one's better, I just want to see how they look in situations where I like to shoot film. Not a terrible view. So I've been up here recently and I took some pictures. My girlfriend and I came up here, and if you saw my reel, or if you saw one of my recent Instagram posts, you would have seen this scene that I shot, and maybe this. So like I kind of said, my goal is not to figure out which film is the best. My goal is to just compare Gold to a standard baseline, something we all know like Portra 400, and be able to kind of compare what Gold can do when compared to Portra 400. One of the main reasons for doing this is that Gold is cheaper than Portra, so you can actually get a pro pack of Gold for, I think, what Portra used to go for. There are stock issues with Portra and Gold, and any film that exists out there. All film is having a problem being stocked, which sucks a lot. But we are going to do 2 rolls. I'm going to do all 10 shots with my Hassleblad on a tripod. I have 2 film backs, one with the Portra, one with the Gold, and we're just going to switch between. The only difference will be the film itself. Same lens, same camera body, same settings, different film. So why don't we just shoot? So the cool thing about the spot that I've chosen is I have a little over 180 degrees of views, so I can shoot from all the way that way to all the way that way, unless I want to shoot this hospital building, which I don't because it's getting full frontal sunlight and I don't think that would look as good. But I like this shot right towards the sun. I shot this last time I was here and it was a little bit darker. It was closer to sunset, so it was really dark and I didn't really get the detail that I wanted, so I'm going to try shooting this again, this time with obviously more light. And then you can see that's downtown way over there. I don't think you can see the detail very well with this GoPro, but there's some really pretty light reflecting off of a building down there. It's got like a pinkish hue. I have my 150mm lens with me, so that might be another possibility. As I was saying before, I have 2 Hassleblad film backs, one for each roll of film. This one is the Portra 400 and the one on the camera is the Gold. This first shot I set up is kind of this stairway, entryway, glass thing that is the stairway up to the top level of this parking garage. I shot this when I was here last, but I wasn't really that happy with the photo. I thought it looked okay, but I thought it could have used more light. So we're gonna give it more light. When the sun is reflecting off this glass right here, it looks really pretty and architectural and stuff. So that's what I'm going for today. So we're gonna do our first shot of Kodak Gold 200 on this subject right here, and also our first shot of portra. So here we go. I metered it using the prism meter on my Hassleblad ELX 553, and it's giving me an EV reading of 14, which if I'm open to 5.6 is 500th of a second, which is the fastest shutter speed I can get on this lens. If I just want that in focus and I don't really care about the background, that would be a good spot to meter it for. But I think I might actually want more in focus. So I'm actually going to stop this down to 1/25th at f11, so I'll have more in focus and it'll be more comparable to the shot I take with portra. All right. Dark side out. Okay, now for the portra. Quick. Okay, so portra 400. I could just stop down a stop, but I'm gonna take another EV reading in the same spot. So I'm getting, let's see. Yeah, so it's giving me an EV reading of 15, which is literally the next stop up. So we're gonna stop down to 1/25th at f16, which will give me the same exposure with just one more stop down on the aperture. So here we go, portra 400. Wow, the first two shots are done. Amazing, amazing. I have the second shot lined up. I'm gonna shoot portra first, and this is the shot I was talking about that has the church, and there's some radio towers in the background there, and then the foreground has these really nice trees, and then there's houses and buildings and stuff. And I'm sticking with the 50mm because I really like having all that stuff, that wide view. We're gonna do shot number 2, starting with portra 400. It's pretty bright right now because the sun's right over there, so it's going to be an EV reading of 17, and that's going to be f16 at 500th of a second. Here we go, portra 400. Let's do it. I should focus. I don't think I got them blinking, the radio towers, but whatever. Now for gold. Yep, 16 EV. So we're gonna open up, we're gonna leave it at f16, and I'm gonna take it at 2/50th of a second instead of 500th. So here is gold. Again, I doubt I got those blinking lights, but it's okay. For my third shot, I decided to mix it up a little bit. I've got my 150 on the Hassleblad, and that's about 100mm, or like 90 on full frame, and I wanted to get a little bit farther of a reach because I was going to these buildings downtown, but there's kind of some architecture in my way, so I can't really get a clean shot like I wanted to, like I was hoping to. But there's this interesting composition here. It's not super special, but it's like that bank, the drive up teller thing with the closed signs and the yellow pylons. I think I have kind of an interesting frame for this. You know, it's not super special, but for our purposes, I think it's going to be an interesting photo. So let's shoot it. 13 EV. 13 EV is going to be f11 at 60th of a second. I think that's going to work great. I'm going to let these people with their dog walk by so that I can take my shot, and then switch to portrait. Success. Okay, now portrait. 14 EV. So F11 at 1/25th of a second. There's a car there now. Move car. Okay, I'm gonna wait for a minute because there's a car at the drive up ATM now, and I want it to be the same shot with not too much change. So I'm just gonna wait for that. Chevy HHR, you know, those kind of ugly wagon things that are like rounded with the super small back windows. Ugly cars, terrible design. Okay, now there's two cars. How dare people use services when they're open? Unbelievable. This is a Sunday. Go home. Go home to your children. This person is using the dumpster. I don't think that's a public dumpster. He's in a Tesla too. Typical. Typical Tesla owner. Nope, that is a Honda Accord. Sorry, Honda. Sorry, Tesla. I slandered you for no reason. I mean, there's plenty of reason to slander Tesla. Got it. I got it. I'm metering with the camera pointed down towards that red brick building and that tree right there, because the sky is giving like 2 EV above, you know, shadow, I guess. And I don't want to meter for the highlights, I want to meter for the shadows. So I'm metering down in that kind of area. So that's giving me about 15 EV, which is good. So I'm gonna take my first shot with portra. Also, I'm sorry for the audio of this video. I just wanted to use the audio that came out of the GoPro. I was gonna bring my Rode Video Mic Go 2, but I forgot to. So I don't have it, so sorry. With portra F11 at 2/50th of a second. Let's go. This is my 4th exposure, I guess. Gold time. I hope I don't mess this up and do something weird. The possibility that I do that is pretty high. But if I meter back here, 14th, just like I would imagine it would be, F8 at 2/50th, or actually 1/25th at F11, so I can keep the aperture the same. And the light's going fast, so I'm going to go quick here. Nice. I got the light at the intersection was red for portra and it was green for gold, which doesn't mean anything, but they'll just that'll be the difference in the two frames. Who cares? Okay, so I'm back by my car because I wanted to get another photo of this glass stairway, entranceway thingy, but because of where the sun is going down, there's this really beautiful light reflecting on the side of it, and I really want to capture that, so I'm going to do another exposure. I put the 50mm on because I couldn't get far enough back, and my car's in the way, and I didn't want to take the time to move my car because then I might miss the shot, and then the light would be gone. Whatever, I'm gonna miss a shot if I keep talking. The thing about light is, if I keep talking, I'll lose it. So let's just take the shot. So we're at portra. We are at 14 EV. We're gonna do F11 at 1/25th. No, we're gonna do F8 at 2/50th. Here we go. Okay. Portra 400. F8 at 1/25th. Cool. Okay, so now I'm on 6 and I just see something cool. I need to run over there. Hold on a second. If you look way over yonder, you can see a huge plume of white steam. That looks pretty cool. I'm gonna photograph that. If the wind cooperates with me, this could be a pretty cool photo. I've got my 150 F4 back on, metering into the green shadow, an EV reading of 15, so that's going to give me F11 at 2/50th of a second for a portra 400. Let's go. Oh, nope, that's wrong. It's going to give me 16 at portra 400. So F11 at 500th of a second. Let's do it. cool. Back to gold. F11 at 2/50th of a second instead of 11/500. So let's go. I definitely think it's going to be a cool shot. Maybe. I definitely think it's maybe going to be a cool shot. Okay, that window downtown looks pretty neat. The sun is really reflecting off of it now. I might photograph the sky. No, I won't. So the light behind me, even though it's flat because it's coming, the sun's back here and then this is over here, it's not coming through the clouds right now. So it's this really pretty light that's kind of falling on everything here. So I'm going to try to get a shot of this with the light for both. So I'm going to look down. It's going to give me 12 EV for gold 200. So 12 EV. So that's going to be F8 at 60th of a second. So let's do that. I think that's going to be a cool shot. So F8 at 1/25th. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty. I really like the hard light that's coming on to that kind of like top edge of the top part, and then the shadows right here underneath the fire extinguisher box. I think that's going to look nice. So one thing I have to really remember, and something that everyone should remember, is when you're out shooting film or digital or whatever you're doing, not every shot has to be a banger. Not every shot has to be Instagram worthy. Not every shot has to be your best work ever, because you can't have your best work until you make some really shitty work. And that's because the only way to be good at anything is to practice. And if you're good at something without a lot of practice, that's luck. And it's not gonna last, because when you're put in a situation where you're asked to replicate that, you're not gonna know how to do it, because what you did was lucky and not repeatable. So in order to be repeatable, in order to have a skill, you got to practice. Part of practicing is being bad and making bad work and making shitty photographs and showing your shitty photographs to people and being like, look at how shitty my photograph is, but still being proud of it, because it's part of putting in that work to be a good, serious, actual artist or talented, skilled person. So don't think that every photo you take has to be good. They don't. And you know, YouTubers and influencers and Instagram people will have you believe that everything that they shoot is just amazing. But let me tell you, I've seen some of the B-roll, some of the rejects from some of these people, and they're not good. And they're rejects for a reason. They don't show you the struggles. They don't show you the hard part. They don't show you the learning part, because that's not the sexy, cool, interesting thing that everyone wants to see. You have to do that. You have to do crap work to be good. So don't feel bad if you think that your work isn't good, because, well, one, if you think your work is good already, then you're probably a little bit full of yourself, and you should probably take a second and zoom out and look at the bigger picture. You will be good one day, I promise. Just keep at it. I gotta find some more frames. I am on 7 or 8. What do I want to shoot next? I've shot every direction almost. Okay, so right now I'm walking across to the upper part of the upper parking garage. So the upper top. The topper. Because I haven't shot that direction yet. Because the sun's coming from that way, so that's like the more interesting, I guess, direction. But I haven't really looked over here. There's another parking garage there, more buildings. Is that the lobby for the hospital? Probably haven't shot over here before because I don't want people to see me, but they might see me because that's the hospital entrance, but we'll see, who cares. So there's a cool building over there, a Montessori school. That could be cool. It's a white building. Oh, the light on it right now is really pretty. I might take a shot of that. So that building over there, that wavy building, that's part of the hospital too. That is a building that my girlfriend really likes. She shot it a couple times and kind of wonders why no one else shoots it in Milwaukee, because that's a cool building, but she shot it a few times and gotten some really good photos. So that direction might be cool, but this for sure, where the light is, I'm gonna set up while that light is still pretty. For Portra 400, I'm getting an EV reading of 13-ish. Is it 13? Yeah, 13. So let's do that. F8 at 1/25. Sounds good to me. Make sure we're focused. Cool. I left my other film back over there. Oh, that's cool too. Shit. I'm finding more stuff to shoot. Sometimes you feel stuck, you just gotta find different perspective. And sometimes that means just walking across the street or the parking garage you're standing on. 12 EV. Okay, F8, 60th of a second, let's go. There's a person in that frame. Oh well. But if you look right there, look at how pretty the sunlight is on the side of that building. I'm gonna shoot it. Okay, so for the Gold 200, we're gonna do 12 EV. F8 at 60th of a second. Okay. Portra. 13 EV, big surprise. So F8 at 1/25. I think I got a UFO in that shot. There's someone up on that building. Oh my God. It's the CIA. There's someone just hanging out on the top of that parking garage over there. And I wanted to shoot it. And I'm gonna. That's gonna be an Easter egg. That's just gonna be, well, not an Easter egg. That's just gonna be like a nice extra thing in the shot to look for, or to see, or to look at. 13 EV for Portra 400. F11 at 60th of a second. Let's go. I'm not sure why I keep saying let's go, but here we go. Oh, they're looking my way. 3, 2, 1. Do they see me? I waved. I don't think they saw me. Okay, so now for gold. So I'm not even gonna look. It's 12 EV. I know it is, because it's always gonna be an EV less than Portra. So F11 at 30th of a second. They're still standing up there. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got it. That light is pretty on that back building. So I'm on either 11, 10, or 11. I can't tell, because Hassleblad A24 backs are ambiguous with the frame counters. Okay, now the sun is full of orange that way. I think I might shoot something that way. All right, well, just because of the way that this parking structure is designed, I'm gonna get some of it in the shot, but that's kind of okay. I'm gonna use that to meter against, because it's gray and in shadow. 12 EV for gold, and the big orange sun is just on the horizon right above it. This is gonna be a cool shot. So, wait, did I say 12 EV? I forgot what I said. I think I said 12 EV. I gotta hurry up for the sun dips below the horizon. 12 EV, yes, 12 EV. Okay. 30th of a second at F11. All right. Was that a? That might not have been focused great, but it's fine. Sometimes it's hard to see when you're in focus on the wide lenses, so okay, it's just about to go below. So F11 and 60th. Thank you, the sun, for being so orange and beautiful. I've got a couple of exposures left on each film back, so I'm gonna wait until the sun dips below the horizon so I can get the really pretty clouds and sunset-y stuff. I'm also going to change to my 150mm lens. Also, for any of you watching me change the lenses on my Hasselblad and cringing, yes, I agree. You should put one lens down and then put the other lens on. Don't try to juggle both lenses while taking one off and putting one on. That's very stupid. But I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. You know, you get it. Oh yeah. So when the sun goes down all the way, I've got a really great slice of the sky with some buildings, and it's almost down as we speak. Check this out. It's probably too bright. So the sun, that's crazy. Just watching the sun actually dip down below the horizon is crazy looking. So there's a shot here right where the sun went down that's all orange and pretty, and then there's a shot over there where it's like pink and purple and blue. So I'm gonna get this shot with both backs, and I'm gonna get that shot, and then we're gonna call it a night, because that is all the film that I brought with me, and that concludes our test. 12 EV, f11 at a 30th of a second for Portra 400. I'm gonna get that really quick because it's, yeah. So for gold, I'm not even gonna have to remeter, because I know it's gonna be 1 EV slower, so 11 EV. So we're gonna do f11 at a 15th of a second. So I got to be careful when I make this exposure that I don't. You know what I'm gonna do? Timed. So I just open the mirror, and I'm just gonna release the shutter, and then the mirror will come back down. Oh no, wait. There we go. Look at the sky right now. I don't know if you can tell, but that looks crazy. I could have waited like maybe another minute and gotten that shot, but I'm impatient and stupid, so I'm gonna have to use a point and shoot. Hopefully this does it justice. Man, that is such a nice sunset. Can't really complain about that sunset, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. I would consider that a very successful evening, early evening, late afternoon shoot. Once again, one thing I gotta remember to do, I need to start waiting till after sunset to get some shots, because look at this. That looks gorgeous, but I'm completely out of film. I shot all the film I have on me, so I can't shoot that. I don't have a digital camera on me either, because I don't know what is wrong with me.